Hey there, this is Stan, K9SWX, and today I'm going to be showing you a step-by-step guide on how to connect your Icom 705 to a D-Star reflector using a basic Raspberry Pi and the Pi-Star software. No hotspot or MMDVM board required. Since this is a step-by-step guide, I'm going to link to my blog post which has all the instructions, and I'll put that in the description below so you can follow along if you want to. So what do you need to get started? Well, obviously you need an Icom 705. This might work with other Icom radios, but I'm using the 705 because that's what I have. And you'll also need a Raspberry Pi. Now you can use the Pi 4, Pi 5. The Pi 02, it might be a cheaper alternative, which should work just fine. I'll be using the Pi 4 because that's what I have. And then you'll need a micro SD card. The software, the Pi-Star software requires 4 gigabytes or higher. Now I usually just use a 16 gig or 32 gig because that's usually what the standard is at the store or online, and they're pretty affordable, so I just get that size. You'll also need a micro SD card reader. Or if you've got a regular SD card reader, you can use the micro SD adapter that usually comes with the micro SD cards. You also need a cable to go from your Icom 705 to the Pi, which is a USB-A to micro USB. And then of course you'll need a case for your Pi and a power supply. And I'll post links to all this in the description so you can click on it and buy it at your leisure. Just a disclaimer, this video is not sponsored, but some of the links are affiliate links, like through Amazon, which helps support the channel by providing me with a small commission. If you purchase through those links, there's no extra cost to you for using those links. I do appreciate it if you do use them, so thank you very much. So the first thing we need to do is download the Pi-Star software. Please note that if you install this on an existing micro SD card that you might have on your Pi, it will wipe out everything. So what I recommend is just buying a second micro SD card, and then you can swap out the cards and experiment with this various software. And you can get the Pi-Star software here at the Pi-Star website. It's pistar.uk, and then you come down here to downloads and hit download Pi-Star. And at the time of this recording, you want version 4.2.1, which is right here. So go ahead and click that, and it'll download here. All right, now that that's downloaded, we need a way to get that onto your SD card. So I use a program called Etcher, and you can get that at etcher.balena.io. And you go to their website, you just hit download Etcher. And as you can see, they've got it for Windows, Mac, Linux. So you pick your different, whichever one you've got here. Now, I'm running Mac OS, one of the M1 chip. So I'm going to use the ARM64. But if you're on an older Mac, you'd use this one. And if you're on Windows here, and then whichever Linux one you want here. But I'm going to go ahead and download the Mac version. Okay, so I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to go ahead and click this, and then I'm going to drag it to Applications. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and load it up. Okay, on the Mac it says, are you sure you want to open it? It's from the internet. Yes. Okay, so you get this little box here. So what we want to do is flash from file. But we can't do that yet because we have to unzip the Pi-Star software. So what you want to do is go to the Pi-Star zip file. On a Mac, you can just double click it and it extracts. It'd be a little different on Windows, but it's similar. Okay, so we go into the folder and we have our image file here. So we go back to Etcher and we hit flash from file, and there's our image file. We hit open, select a target. Now I already have the micro SD card in the computer, and that will be this one here. It just says generic mass storage, and it's a 32 gig, so it's about what that is. This program is pretty good with telling you, hey, you know, I've also got a 1 terabyte SSD drive plugged in. It's saying, hey, just kind of giving you a warning, you know, don't write your image to this drive because you'll wipe out everything. But I'm just going to do this one because it's the right one. I'm going to hit select, and then you just hit flash and let it do its thing. And on a Mac, sometimes it wants a password, so go ahead and put my password. So we can go ahead and close this out. All right, so if you are going to be using this on Wi-Fi, which I am guessing a lot of people will be, there's another thing you should do before you pull the micro SD card out of your card reader. If you go back to the Pi-Star website and click on Pi-Star Tools and click on Wi-Fi Builder. So what this will do is you'll put in your Wi-Fi name in the SSID and then put in your Wi-Fi password, and you hit submit, and it'll create this WPA supplicant.conf file. And what you do with that is you drag it onto the micro SD card before you eject it out of your computer, and then when it boots up, it'll read that file and say, hey, connect to this Wi-Fi, and then you'll have internet. Otherwise, you would have to hook up a monitor and a keyboard and, you know, log in and then try to do all that from the command line, and we don't need to do that. So they made this nice little tool to help us out. So I've already got the file, my file made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where to put it on the SD card. Okay, so what you want to do is look for the SD card, and it should have mounted as boot. So that's the folder you want to put it in. So you grab this WPA supplicant file and just drag it over, and then you can go ahead and eject the SD card. So now you can put the SD card into the Pi, go ahead and power it up, and the first time you do this, it's going to take at least 2 to 3 minutes for it to come up. Now you can wait that long, or if you happen to know the IP address of your Pi, you can do a ping command from your computer, and we can wait for the pings to come back, and that'll let you know that your credentials for your Wi-Fi worked if you're connected to Wi-Fi, and it'll let you know when it's booted up. So we can wait for that, or you can wait 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, we're starting to get pings back, so go ahead and open a new browser window. And what you want to do in the address bar is type in pi-star.local and hit enter. And you should get this dashboard to come up. Now it hasn't been set up, so what it's going to do is take you to the configuration page automatically in 10 seconds. So it's going to ask you for a login. The default username is pi-star, and the default password is raspberry. Okay, so this is your configuration page. The first thing you want to do is change this controller software to D-Star Repeater. And it's going to pop up and say you'll need to power cycle your Pi. Go ahead and hit apply, let it do its thing here. All right, then we get a warning that says the modem selection section has been updated. Please reselect your modem. We're not quite ready for that yet, but go ahead and hit OK. This is the section right here, the general configuration that you want to pay close attention to. The host name you can leave it as pi-star. That's fine. The node call sign is just your call sign. So I'm going to put my call sign in here. You don't have to worry about the radio frequency because in this configuration, we're not using any RF, so we don't have to worry about that. You don't need to worry about the latitude, longitude, town, country, unless you want to. You can put that in there, especially if you're going to use the APRS feature, but I'm not going to do that right now. you might want to, I would change the system time zone. I am in the central time zone, so I'm going to pick America, Chicago. And then for the dashboard language, I'll just change it to English US. And then I'll go ahead and hit apply. And then it'll restart the service again. Okay, just hit OK here. And if you notice, it changed this D-star configuration. Before it had the generic call sign in there. Now it's got my call sign in there. And default reflector, if you wanted to automatically connect to a certain reflector every time you boot up your Pi, you can do that. I usually don't do that. I'll just put it on manual. And I'll change the language to English US. And we'll go ahead and hit apply one more time. All right, go ahead and hit OK. Now, it keeps complaining about the modem type. So when we click this, this is all the different modem options they give you. But the 705 is not listed by default. So we need to go a little deeper into the settings to make that happen. So first of all, we need to go to the expert menu area up here. And then come over here to SSH access. So here it brings up like a terminal window inside of your browser. So the Pi-star login is just pi-star and the password is raspberry, just like the dashboard interface credentials. Now it's going to bring you to a prompt down here and it says RO, which is read only, which is by default. We need to put it into read write so we can modify one of the files. So we're going to do RPI-RW and hit enter. Now you see that the RO has changed to RW. So now we're going to edit a file. And put this in here. And again, this will all be in the description, the link in the description to do all this. But we're going to do sudo nano /etc udev rules.d and then 100 Pi-star. Okay. So what we want to do here is just go ahead and delete all of this, which you can do with Control K. So just delete these lines. What we want to do, if you're copying and pasting from the link in the description, there's some text in there that it tells you to copy into this file. But you have to do it a certain way. And before I do that, I want to mention a thank you to Delta Hotel 4 Foxtrot Romeo, Frank, who I found this on his website, and it's been a game changer for me because I hadn't seen it anywhere else. So I wanted to give him a shout out. But I'm going to go ahead and copy this in here, but we're not going to paste it just yet. So go ahead and copy it from your file. And then if you right click on the terminal, it'll say paste from browser. And that'll pop up a window here. It says paste into this box. So copy the text from either my file or his website. And it'll put it all in there and hit OK. And it does some weird line wrapping, but it should be all right the way if you do it this way, it should be okay. But go ahead and hit Control X to exit, and you want to hit Y for yes to save. And then for the file name, just hit enter because that's the file we want to save it in. Now, we want to put this back into read-only mode, so do RPI-RO. And then we want to reboot the Pi so the changes take effect. But before you do that, go ahead and plug in the USB cable from the 705 to the Raspberry Pi. And then once you have that, go ahead and turn the radio on as well. Once you have that done, go ahead and do a sudo reboot. Hit enter. And then we will, on mine, I'm going to watch the pings until it'll come back up here. And you will notice that a normal reboot doesn't take 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. That's just the first time. Usually it's maybe 30 to 45 seconds to reboot here. All right, see, it's already coming back up now. So we'll go back. I'm going to refresh this page. Okay, we don't need to go there. Let's go back to the configuration page. And then let's go to modem type. And there it is, Icom radio and terminal mode. Let's go ahead and click on that. And we're going to go ahead and hit apply changes. And then it'll restart the services. All right, so that should be, to get started, that should be all we need to do right now on Pi-Star. All right, so now let's go over to the Icom 705, and the first thing we need to do is make sure your call sign is configured. So let's go into the menu and then hit set, and let's go to, where is it here? My station, right here. It's on the first page. Okay, so I've already got mine in here, but under my call sign, put in your call sign, and then I usually put the radio model on the end of the slash, so I have the 705. So we got that in there, and if you want to put a message in there that shows up, you can do that. You don't have to. But anyway, let's go to menu, and then make sure you hit number 2, and then let's go to DVGW, DV Gateway. And then you want to do gateway select. You want to do external gateway USB. So we've got that. And then we want to go ahead and enable it. So we hit terminal mode. Now you heard it click. So now it's switched over to terminal mode. Go ahead and turn the audio on here so I can see it. Okay. So we want to go to the to field. And then reflector. And we're going to link to a reflector. Now I've already got one in here. I'm going to go to reflector 001 echo, which will let us do some testing. So let's, if you want to type it in, you can do reflector 001 and then we'll do echo and then hit set. And then go ahead and key your microphone. Okay, didn't quite work there. Let's check something here. Once in a while, once you get this set up, you may need to reboot the Pi and or unplug the USB and plug it back in. So let's try that. All right, let's go ahead and hop out of DV mode. Whoops. Normal, and then go ahead and do DV gateway terminal. Let's see if that did it. Go ahead and key your mic again. There we go.
Link to REF001E.
Okay, so now we're linked to the reflector 001 echo. So what I'm going to do now is change the two, because we've already linked. So let's hit use, or let's do echo test, and then we'll do a quick test here. K9SWX testing.
K9SWX testing.
And there you go. It also shows your location. Now this pulls from the radio. So that's my location from the GPS that I have set in there, because I don't have the GPS on at the moment, but that's my static location. So it's not pulling the GPS from the Pi. So we know that we're connected to reflector 1 echo. So we know, and we got our audio to test, so it's working. If you want to go ahead and unlink, you can click to reflector, unlink, and then key the mic.
Not linked.
So now it's unlinked. Now, if we go back to the dashboard, let's see here. You can kind of see some of this information. D-star link information, link to none right now, and you can see where we keyed up earlier. If you go to the admin page, you can actually set your reflector here as well. So if I wanted to connect, sometimes it's easier just to do text entry and then type it in. So if I wanted to, we'll just say 30 echo. We'll just try this one. And that should go ahead and connect for us without keying the mic.
Not linked.
Okay. So in that case, when it says not linked, it could be that reflector's either down or it's at its maximum capacity. Oh, there it is. Reflector is busy. So that's very useful information to have. I've noticed that 30 and reflector 1 are usually, sometimes they get a little overloaded. Let me try another one here. Let's see. I think it's 91. Let's try 91 here.
Link to RES091E.
Okay, we'll do one more echo test here. Make sure that one's working. K9SWX testing.
K9SWX testing.
All right, so there we go. And if you want to unlink with the dashboard, you can just click this unlink here and hit request.
Not linked.
All right, so that's pretty cool. Let's see if we can find a reflector that has some traffic on it, just so we can hear that it's actually connected and we're not just talking to ourselves, basically. One way you can do that is go to the D-Star last users page. Let's see, here we go, last heard. And let me blow this up. So what I do is I try to find, it looks like there could be something going on, well, 30 Charlie is pretty popular. Let's just kind of click through here. Yeah, it looks like people might be talking on there. So let's go back to the dashboard here. And we'll just try, see if we can connect first, since it said it was busy earlier. We'll try 30 Charlie. Let's see if it'll let us connect to that.
Not linked.
No, it's busy. Okay, well, we'll find a different one here. Let's see. Let's see if reflector 1 has, we can try 1 here. And if you click through this website, it should take you to the actual dashboard of the gateway, or the reflector. And then you scroll way down here. And yeah, doesn't look like anybody's talked in the last 10 minutes. Another resource you can do is go to the University of Arkansas Little Rock Amateur Radio Club, and I'll put the link in the description. And if you scroll down, they've got fairly updated list of D-Star, D-Rats, and Echolink nets. And if you pick the one for your time zone, you get something. Let me fix this. You get this, and then I have, I'm recording this on a Saturday, so I've kind of filtered it by Saturday, and it's just after 5, so we're going to try the multi-mode digital voice net here on XRF 757 Alpha. And yes, you can do other reflectors than the REF reflectors on here. So if we go here and we type in XRF 757 Alpha and hit link, let's see if what we get here.
Link to XRF 757 Alpha.
And you can also pull up the reflector dashboard. Someone was just talking on here, but of course they've stopped now. But But that's another thing you can do is pull up the dashboards of these reflectors, and it gives you all kinds of information. It says somebody's talking, but I'm not hearing them. That's interesting. Oh, they're on a different, I guess they're connected to this one. So let me see if I can find another one here. All right, let's try connecting back to the reflector 30 Charlie and see if anybody's on there. See if it'll actually let us connect first.
Link to REF030 Charlie.
Okay, make sure you change this to use reflector so you get your CQ, CQ, CQ. And let's see. I don't hear anybody talking at the moment. Of course, any other time, it's lots of chatter, but when you want to make a video tutorial, nobody's around. Let's just see if anybody's around here. Oh, there's somebody.
N4AFM.
It's kind of neat because it shows their little message and it says they're in Florida. And the radio will announce the call sign too, which is kind of cool. Okay, so I just transmitted, and you can see it in the dashboard as well. So we'll see if anybody... Oh, now all of a sudden it says 30 Charlie is busy. So they must be really at their capacity, which is odd that there's that many people connected and nobody's talking. Let's jump over to reflector 1 and see if we can connect to that. 01 Charlie...
Link to REF001 Charlie.
Pull up the dashboard here. See, there's lots of people on this one, but I don't hear anybody talking at the moment. Looks like somebody keyed up a couple minutes ago. Let's just see what happens here. All right, so I'm going to refresh this and see if it's not showing on the dashboard. See if my call sign shows up. Okay, so...
Golf 0 Delta Lima Delta G0 DLD mobile calling listening. Anyone around?
Here's N2RGU, November 2, Romeo Golf Uniform. And listening.
Good evening. G0 DLD mobile.
Well, there you go. Now you got two people talking. One's in, looks like England.
Hey, good evening to you. G0 DLD. N2RGU returning. Yeah, name is David. QTH is in Baldwinsville, just near Syracuse, central part of New York State. And just relaxing here and playing with my Kenwood D74 radio and playing around with some of the reflectors. And how are you doing over there on this fine evening? G0 DLD N2RGU.
Well, there you go. Now, let me turn that down. There we go. So there you have it. That's how you link to some reflectors using your IC705 with a Raspberry Pi and the Pi-Star software. I think it's pretty cool because, I mean, if you already have a Raspberry Pi, you're ready to go. You don't need a hotspot. You don't need a Pi with an MMDVM board on it. It's just a plain old Raspberry Pi and free software, and you're on your reflectors. So I know that was a lot of information, especially to get it set up, especially the crucial copy and paste portion to let the Pi-Star software know that you're using a 705. Again, all that information is in the blog post listed in the link in the description. So if you have any questions, throw them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. And I know that this will probably work with other Icom radios. May have to adjust a few settings, but let me know. I mean, if you have a different radio, the Icom radio that this works with, let me know in the comments. That would be very interesting. So thanks for watching, making it through this whole video, and we'll catch you in the next one. 73. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and make sure to ding my bell to be notified when I post new videos. Thanks again, and 73 from K9SWX.